And true enough, today I'm out of acid reflux medication completely.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, Brother Danny and I, we've been friends for 20 years. Actually, he is one of my first warrior when I built LiveWave way back then in the very beginning of time. He was introduced to me by a friend of mine from the church, but a friend of mine never been that active. And then I kind of lose control, and then Brother Danny was busy, so we lose in contact. And along the way, somehow we got connected again. And then last year I was in Singapore, and then I invited him for have a big dinner with my team, and we had a good dinner. And then we chit chat, we talk. I put a patch on him. He felt something is cooking in the body right away. He's a very successful businessman all over the world. Okay, bro, Danny, it's all yours. Take it over.
Well, thank you very much, Brother Roy, for the introduction. I'll just try to make this as quick as possible because my journey on LiveWave has a start-stop kind of thing. So I just retrospect back to the early days when I first came to the US. Uh, I was working for Indomie in Singapore at that time. And at that time, the company was not even owned by the Salim Group. It was owned by a group of Indonesian businessmen. And they hired me as the director of international operations, and they wanted to bring Indomie into Singapore. So at that time, I told them it's impossible because nobody in Singapore will eat Indomie because it tastes totally different. And
Huh?
so we went up to the drawing board and decided that, hey, there must be something that we can break this market because Indomie is the biggest. Singapore had only like Maggi instant noodle. So we invented mee goreng, and mee goreng became the flagship of the product. Uh, by the time the company was already absorbed in and was sold to the Salim Group. And I took on an international portfolio for the Salim Group and was posted to LA 1986 to 1990. And that's how we launched Indomie into America, to Europe, and into the Asia Pacific market. And from there on is history. We became a brand name. But throughout the time in 1986 or 1990, selling products especially food products in America, you don't really go out and do it. You hire brokers to do it. So half my time I spent playing golf. And that's how I learned how to play golf. And from golf, I took up the detailed kind of study on how golf clubs are being made, how golf clubs are being built. And later on, when I left the corporate world, when migrated to Australia, I decided to start a school on golf club repair and fitting, which is the only one of its kind in Asia. Up to today, there's no school. We are the only one who hold it. And I started a company known as American Golf Technology. But fast forward, in 2004, I left, I closed out the business. I went back to LA again because this time a friend of mine wanted to ask me to took on a partnership to launch Lincoln hot sauce into America. So I stayed there from 2004 right up to 2011. And that's how I met Brother Roy. I met Brother Roy in 2004, 2005. And at that time, instead of selling hot sauce, the hot sauce was not getting hot. It was just like, starting to launch. And Brother Roy said, hey, this stuff is hot. You got to know it. And I met Brother Roy. We had lunch several times at David Smith. And we
Yeah.
learned everything that we know about the patch through David Smith. And this guy is just amazing because he was not only introducing a product that's so embryonic and his technology is so ahead of time, but the product really works. And we learned firsthand from him what it's all about. So
Yeah.
I started using it and we got very excited. And on occasions when we went back, I know Brother Roy came with Chuck to Singapore and we were trying to build up the international market at that time. And we had a lot of fun. But as business grew, at the time, my focus was on hot sauce to get it hot. And so I left the LifeWave's business and focused on the hot sauce business. So fast forward, the hot sauce business became very, very successful. And then I lost contact with Brother Roy for about 18 to almost 20 years. And then what happened was I did all the business that need to be done for the hot sauce business, came back to Australia and continued to do the hot sauce business for the company. By the time 2019, COVID came, and COVID really put a reset button on everybody's life. We were all, confined in Australia, really, really bad. We had, our lockdown was worse than Wuhan. The guys were panicked, nobody could go out, and we made history because we got a best lockdown. Nobody could go out of their house. So it was very miserable. But the point is that post-COVID became a big, big challenge because there were lots of health issue. People were, starting to get back to the life again. But by that time, I had a lot of other health issue. And whether you like it or not, at this point in time, are there side effects on the vaccine or not? There are lots of story going on there now. The question is it true? And I've asked Brother Roy many times, is it true that, the vaccine is not good for us? Well, to a certain degree, yes. And
Yes, man.
My biggest problem was my health went right down because I went for a checkup and the doctor told me, hey, you got a blocked artery. And every other guy that I know had vascular issues with either artery block or, you name it. So, and then the thing all when going downhill when they started to take medicine. So the doctor say, hey, you better start, taking blood thinners. I say, I can't take blood thinners, okay? Aspirin cost me bleeding. It cost me gout. Say, okay, you try something else. So it's like dishing out candy. And finally we got the product called Plavix, which it says that will help you thin your blood. And I'll see you in one year's time. We did an angiogram. We discovered that you got about 40% block on the artery. So you better start taking this. So one thing lead to another. All this medicine has tremendous side effects. So from one blood thinner, it caused me acid reflux. And the acid reflux was like so bad that you need more medicine for acid reflux. And each time when I met Roy last year, I told Roy, I do not know, but I hope these patches can do something for me. But I'll say this, these patches do not claim to heal, but they sure can either help you to set your body to a point where you can either tolerate the medicine or you don't need to take it anymore. So I can attest to the fact that I have been texting Roy and say, hey, do you have a protocol for acid reflux? And Roy is just unbelievable. At 3 a.m. in his time, my time, 3 o'clock here in Australia, and he would tell me, patch this, get this done. And true enough, today I'm out of acid reflux medication completely. Hey, get onto Canosine. And I patch Canosine like there's no tomorrow. I patch it every day. All right. So the kind of the long story short, the point is that all these patches does deliver the promise. And if you're starting off the LifeWave business, the first thing is really, really get involved into understanding the patches. I wanted to know more because I didn't want to trouble Roy every day, 3 a.m. waking up, Brother Roy. So Brother Roy said, hey, you are going to Malaysia, why don't you go out to Malaysian office? So I said, okay, great. So I went out to see Casey and we became good friends. So Casey was extremely helpful. He taught me why you become a manager, what you should do and all that. And become good friends. Casey's son is coming next week to Monash University. So I said, okay, we'll look after him. So yeah, get to know the offices. I understand that Singapore is opening up another office as well. So these are great places, spend time there, ask questions. And, the best part is with offices like that, you can really go there and buy your patches and collect them. Here in Australia, the tax is like, whoa, the patches and the products is just unbelievable. The more you understand the product, the better you are able to market, stuff like that. And let's face it, not everyone you present to will be interested in LifeWave. That there is definitely a call and a need, and you need to scout this out. You need to find out exactly who are the people that will benefit LifeWave's products. And I have here a whole group of people in Australia who are in the 80s, in the 90s. Everyone have a health issue, you name it. And when they use the LifeWave patches, the only problem you're going to get with these people is they don't want to sign up. They say, look, I'm too old. I'm in my 70s, my 80s. I don't know how to do computers. I will buy through you. Anything you do, you just buy from me every month. We use it, we need it. So that is one group of people that you can really identify their business opportunity. Don't throw them away. I mean, it costs a lot of hard work. You need to, but you need to really scout and make sure that you are talking to the right people, because there are people whom you need to identify that they're really not your LifeWave candidate. They're the guys who will never use LifeWave anyway. So just move on. So the question here is, there are markets which are very conducive for LifeWave. Like if I go back to Singapore, I'll probably call up a few guys and build up a team there. But here in Australia, it's a lot more difficult. Shipping is difficult. There are patches which are not available here in Australia for us. The taxes are very, very high, and it is really, we are in deep recession here in Australia. So when you confront markets like that, we must understand that we can't go against the market forces, whatever is happening there, but recognize what is happening and move on. So those are some of the things we'd like to just share with you. And I feel that, LifeWave has a very, very solid future. A picture speaks 1,000 words, okay? So a lot of, I hear a lot of people say, how do we get started? Well, if you can take a picture of the inventor, or my brother Roy, whoever it is, before you get started, show them a picture like that. The wow factor comes in and say, you know the inventor? Yeah, I know the inventor, right? And that starts a very powerful conversation with added credibility to what you're going to say. They may use it and they may not, be effective, but it is an opening statement. It is a point where you can establish a wow factor for your potential customers, and they look at it and they say, well, at least they were prepared to listen to what you have got to say. And the more you get in and the more you share about David's passion, how he got started, how his desire to heal people, and he's a devout Christian. And for some Christian friends, it's a great platform for you to, spread the word around as well. So this picture has always been my go-to opening introduction and presentation to a potential customer. That's basically, our little journey here. We are making slow progress, but, we are confident that given time, we'll not give it up, because this is very important. One to do is take it without any stress on this. And we know, there are people who are actually knows really, you need to screen them, and those guys who are your potential, work on them. Those guys who are not, just, leave them out and move on. So God willing, I personally believe that, as we move along, there are people who are interested. And the greatest joy really, in doing this is not so much as, yes, there's great money to be made, but there must be one driving passion. And for us, our passion is basically to share this, to help people, to make sure that, their health improve. And there are lots of people in this area. There are young people who have got health issue. There are old people who have got health issue, but LifeWave is there. The patches are there to be able to elevate all this problem and help them to get, much, much better health. That is the whole passion for us.